Life went on well before any of us were even an idea. It's truly a crazy thing to think about. All of this stuff going on, where were we? Nowhere to be found. Until eventually we suddenly exist. And once we exist, we have our first everything. We say our first words, walk for the first time, until eventually we, play video games. It's gonna happen to all of us, even if it means doing the Sudoku on your phone. What was your first video game ever? I believe I've brought this question up probably several times before this point. I don't care, and I've stated that I never knew what mine was. But after some deep thinking and extreme research into my past, I think I might just found out what that game was. Pac-Man World. 2, the second one. Starting big. Yep, I think this may have been it, fellas. This game is very nostalgic to me, oh my. I really did love Pac-Man as a kid, and it all stemmed from this game right here. The GameCube one, not this. Nowadays, yeah, Pac-Man's cool, I guess. Pac-Man World 2 was a great introduction to gaming for me. It's a 3D platformer, and to this day, 3D platformers are still my favorite type of games. But Pac-Man, the franchise, did not stick with me as hard as a franchise like Mario did, and I think that is for obvious reasons. Mario games have always been the cream of the crop when it came to platformer type games, and for the most part, they've been pretty much consistently very high quality. So, no thank you. Later on in my life, I remember Pac-Man World 3 came out. I was 3, and I can't recall if I ever beat it. It always felt like such a weird game to me. It felt very different from World 2. I don't remember if I liked it or not. All I can really remember from the game is the weird, gritty atmosphere, and I don't think I like that. I also remember it being a bit confusing to my younger self. Now look, it very well could have been a good game. My memory is just very foggy. I'm fucking stupid. It was also one of those games that, released everywhere, from Microsoft Windows to the DS. Just checking out the GameCube version real quick, this game looked really nice for a third-party game from this generation, and it even runs at 60 FPS. Even the DS version looked pretty damn good for what it was. But Pac-Man talked! What the fuck was up with that? That's so weird, dude. What you gotta know about me is that Pac-Man World 2, yeah, that's the one I fuck with. After the realization that there's a very strong chance this game right here could have been the very first game I've ever played, I've been actually replaying through it and recording the footage. I think we're gonna have to take a look at this game sometime in the future. Pac-Man World, on the other hand, the fuck is that? Yeah, I basically know nothing about this one. I know what Buccaneer Beach is, and that song for it sure as hell is embedded in my brain. That's about it. I never owned a PS1, never had any desire to get one, I don't think. Though, I guess I owned this, quote-unquote, port. As well as the Pac-Man World 2 one, of course. God, man, what the fuck were these? So you know how it's quite common nowadays to get remakes of these classic, beloved 3D platformer titles? Whether it be the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, SpongeBob Rehydrated! Yeah, that's not shit right there. But oh yeah, Crash and Spyro had their original trilogies remade. Not just one game, 3! You know what else had a trilogy? Oh yeah, Pac-Man World Remakes. Wouldn't that just be dope? So Pac-Man is owned by... We could always dream. Nintendo! They're a very confusing company. Everyone was expecting them to drop a new Nintendo Direct for some information on their first-party titles. Instead we got Nintendo Direct Mini, Partner Showcase, the exact opposite. This really struck a nerve in a lot of Nintendrones, but it actually turned out a lot more interesting than anyone could have ever imagined. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, some stuff about the upcoming Mario and Rabbids game. Mario and Rabbids is a truly bizarre crossover nobody asked for, but I heard the first game was quite good actually. The Mario fellas also look pretty nice in this too. Nice graphics and stuff. Portal on Switch. Neat. Oh yeah, and Persona 5 is finally on Switch, along with Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden. No shitty cloud version garbage shit either. They're here. 3.5 years after Joker was announced for Smash. Now look, I'm a huge Persona fan to the point where I don't even know what the fuck it is. Is that a monkey or some shit? But as an outsider, it's still really cool to finally see Persona 5 in the platform, along with 2 other games and not in some garbage shitty fucking cloud format. Fuck you! Sonic Frontiers. I almost forgot to mention that they hired that man to make a Sonic game. Damn, that's so cool. He's truly using Unreal Engine in any way he can. I'm incredibly excited for this game to come out and not be a complete disappointment just like every other modern Sonic game. This one will be different, guys, I feel it! I feel like I now have a bounty over my head. So you're probably thinking, one of these was the highlight of the Direct for me, right? Well, not quite. You see, it was this little moment right here. Do you see it? Right, yeah, right there. And right after the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection announcement, hey yo, what the f***? So here it is, a remake of Pac-Man World from the PS1 titled Pac-Man World Re-Pac. I always find it funny when these studios need to come up with a clever title for their remake.
Well shit, we're rehashing the same content from before, repacking it back!
My initial thoughts on this, I thought it was neat, but why? It just seemed so random and out of place to me, and why announce it here and now? Miss Pac-Man's gone, by the way. She's gone. So unfortunately, it's not a remake trilogy or anything like a lot of people wanted. It's just the first game, which unfortunately alludes me to the idea that this is something they're trying to rush out. And what alludes me to that idea even more is that it's releasing in August, not even a full 2 months after the trailer dropped. So again, why?
In order to save your kidnapped family!
What?
Family!
Family? Why'd they say it like that? Were they trying to rhyme it with something and they had to cut it out? What the fuck? When I saw the footage of this and it was revealed in a Nintendo Direct video, I was kinda afraid at first that this would be a Switch-only title, but thankfully I was wrong. Later, Bandai Namco dropped a longer official announcement trailer, which showed that August release date and everything. And yeah, it's coming out everywhere, not just Switch. And thankfully, not some random-ass shitty launcher like Epic. We're getting it on Steam. You know, where PC games belong. Nice, that's good. If it was gonna be a Switch exclusive sort of game, I would have picked up a copy, but personally, I only really prefer to use my Switch to play first-party games, and since it is getting a PC port, and especially since that port is on Steam, that'll be the version I pick up for sure. A lot of these Switch ports of games that were clearly designed for other hardware in mind are a bit fucking shitty garbage, to put it lightly. I don't know, maybe it won't turn out this way. Pac-Man World is a pretty simple game from what I've seen, you know. So the game itself, I mean, it looks pretty solid from this trailer. Not that much footage here that isn't cut every 2 seconds, so it's a bit difficult to judge. The movement doesn't look janky or anything like it did in the original SpongeBob Rehydrate reveal, and the graphics look pretty good, honestly. This looks like Pac-Man World Remade. Some pre-order bonus stuff, of course. If you pre-order now, you can get this Chrome Noir Pac-Man Shogokin skin, and this statue figure kind of thing of that, and yeah, I mean, it is pretty cool. Oh boy, Anime Expo 2022 came around, and guess what happened there? They featured some more gameplay of Pac-Man World Re-Pac.
You know, anime!
So I don't even want to feature their audio because they fucked it up. There's this really annoying buzzing sound throughout the entire segment, like, come on guys, really? I can't even tell if there's game audio or not because the buzzing sound is so damn loud and prevalent. My god, this shit's gonna drive me insane. I don't think anyone here is actually playing the game live because it cuts to other sections every so often. But it doesn't cut nearly as often as the trailer they dropped, so it's a lot easier to judge the gameplay here. So I believe they start off showing the early game beach area stuff. It looks pretty good, though the art style is definitely a lot different. The animations are very fluid and nice, and you know, I should probably mention it, I am very grateful Pac-Man doesn't look like this anymore. That, like, pyramid temple area next. They show a lot of that Anubis fight, which seems to play pretty well. Then they show that space area, that circus area, and some racing section. I gotta be honest, I really don't understand why this is first person or whatever it is. It looks so weird, dude. Let me see the yellow fella. Oh wait, the official webpage for the game has a couple screenshots, including this one, so here he is, here's the yellow fella. This factory area they show off reminds me a ton of how the factory levels looked in the Crash Bandicoot remake. I haven't seen it in the original as I haven't played it, but I gotta say, big Pac-Man power-up thing where he sort of turns to the arcade Pac-Man is pretty cool and clever, I like that thing. And then they proceed to show a good chunk of gameplay of the final boss.
Sure!
After the gameplay part, they show off the pre-order statue thing. It's pretty cute, like a little Pac-Man in there. I know you're just dying to hear some classic Kaons nitpicks and complaints, so let's get all that out of the way. First of all, the obvious. If you compare the cutscenes to the original, they're a lot less lively. I don't want to dwell on this too much, just from playing these, I think you get the point. Unfortunate. Next up, the HUD and maybe the overall UI design. If you want me to nitpick anything, I'll nitpick the HUD. It looks kinda cheap, basic, and obnoxious at the same time. A graphic design opinion of mine is that if you need a black stroke around elements to make them stand out, the design itself probably isn't working right. Of course, that's probably not true sometimes, but I think the HUD here is a great example of that. Maybe if they went for a cleaner, smaller HUD design akin to some like Super Mario Odyssey's HUD, it may look a bit better. Though I've seen a ton of people complain about how boring that game's HUD looks.
So, the lesson here is that you can never win because there will always be people like me that come around and bitch about it.
The HUD is fine. You can tell what's going on, you can read it, it works. It's just nothing amazing. Something I've noticed in a lot of non-Nintendo 3D platformers is that they have the HUD on screen only when necessary, which is a very, very nice trend. I love it. I feel like it really helps add to the immersion aspect of these games. Unfortunately, from the gameplay we've seen of Pac-Man World Re-Pac, it doesn't seem like that'll be happening in this one. Shame. Especially considering it's, you know, not that pleasant to look at, and it'd be nice if you didn't have it in your face all the time. What else? This one shot that we saw in the original Nintendo Direct trailer looks kinda bad. This rock texture is pretty rough as well as the water. Though maybe it's because this is Switch footage? Maybe? So overall, I just find it pretty weird that they're releasing a remake of just a singular PlayStation 1 game in 2022. Yeah, it's not a full price $60 game, but that's to be expected for something like this. But just a singular remake of a PlayStation 1 game? I don't know, it's kinda weird. PS1 platformer type games really aren't all too much, and in my opinion aren't worthy of even a $30 price tag in 2022. Yes, I understand it's a remake, but still, it's kinda weird. This is why for Crash and Spyro they remade 3 PS1 games for each respective trilogy, which is so much more reasonable and definitely justifies the price they asked for those, albeit like $10 more expensive at launch. Because it's very hard to just put out a simple PS1 game in 2022 and say, yep, this is it. I'm kinda wondering, are they going to add some additional content and stuff? Maybe even some small things? One of the pre-order bonuses, as you saw, was a DLC skin, so maybe like Crash 4, they'll have some character skins, which is always pretty fun. We'll have to see. Personally, I think it'd be pretty silly if they made a singular skin solely for people who pre-ordered the game, but I don't know. Honestly, as random, weird, and somewhat small as this is, I am looking forward to it, and I'll probably definitely have at least a little bit of fun with it. While a game like the first Pac-Man World is pretty simple and probably hard to fuck up, it does look like they're doing a pretty good job with this remake, even if it does end up being a little rushed. As you know, I've yet to play the original Pac-Man World, and hopefully this will turn out to be the definitive way to do so. And the fact that they're remaking this game does give me a lot of hope that they'll remake my childhood one, Pac-Man World 2. Man, I would love that a lot.
Or maybe they could try, you know, making a new Pac-Man World game, like the old ones but modernized, a Pac-Man World 4. Because you know what? While remakes like these are somewhat pretty simple and cool to put out every now and then, it should not be all a series like this relies on nostalgia bait. I don't know about you guys, but I have this crazy suspicion that these companies in the video game industry really enjoy milking old content. It's genius because they don't even have to come up with new ideas or anything. So you know what? From now on, Kaons is no more. I hope you guys enjoyed these shitty Minecraft Let's Plays I made when I was in middle school.
Oh my god, he's coming. No, no!